What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JusticeXFalls. We back at it again with another video, and today we're looking at a Disney Animator reacting to the anime Rock Paper Scissors video. So if you don't know, I've already done a couple videos on that. I reacted to the anime Rock Paper Scissors video, and I reacted to the behind the scenes video to see how they did it, and I got a completely different insight on how these type of AI productions are made than I originally had from just reacting to the production itself. And now I'm going to get the insight of a veteran Disney animator by the name of Aaron Blaze. That says Blaze to me. I don't know if I'm wrong. Correct me. It sounds like how you would pronounce that, Aaron Blaze. This is his YouTube channel. He reacted to Corridor Crew's anime Rock Paper Scissors, and we're gonna react to it. One of you guys asked me to react to it, so I react to it. I told you I take requests. I am a man of my word. So if you have any other requests that you want me to react to, as long as it's like, try to keep it like gaming, you know, anime, pop culture related. Try to keep it close to gaming at least, you know, because I'm not doing music because I'm not trying to get my videos copyrighted, but you know. But anywho, without further ado, let's get to the video.
AI animation? Did I just get put out of a job?
No, of course not. They need you for inspiration. The machine don't know what to draw by itself.
Hey everybody, Aaron Blaze here, and I want to try something a little bit different this week. A few days ago, the Corridor crew came out with a new video, and they're big anime fans. And they wanted to see if they could create their own anime film without actually sitting down and drawing and animating. Now that really piqued my interest. There's something really interesting there, but they used the term AI animation, where I really got interested in that because I know there's a big thing going on with AI generated art and this and that, how it's going to affect our world. But I'm really interested to see what they can come up with, and I want to see what you guys think. So why don't we get together? I'm going to throw my headphones on and let's check it out.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could film yourself and easily turn into anything you want?
The ancient Incan people named alpaca.
A fiber of the gods. But then, I mean, you have to shave the alpaca, though. But
like a cartoon
that's neither here nor there.
Like, what if this could just be a means of capturing performance, and you can visualize whatever your imagination wants afterwards? This kind of no limits creativity is only accessible to films or animations with multi-million
It's not too different than what we did on Beauty and the Beast. We shot reference a lot. It's the same idea.
Traditional 2D animation, cartoons. The most creatively liberated medium.
Or not just Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pocahontas, Mulan.
People drawing every single frame.
Oh, he did the heavy hitters.
But it does enable, it takes the pencil out of your hand and puts the camera instead.
Turn reality into a cartoon. And it's one more step towards true creative freedom, where we can easily create anything we want. We've been making a series of videos where we experiment with AI image processing. This is similar to AI image generation, but in our case, we are transforming images rather than generating them from scratch.
This really reminds me of, it's obviously a filter. You're running it through a filter. And it reminds me of Waking Life in a way.
We fix one problem just to encounter another problem. Dead end?
Just a different style, right?
Because around this time, style models were becoming a thing. Like, imagine telling 100 different people to draw a cartoon dog. You're going to get a...
Well, working at Disney, we had 100, we had to do exactly what they're talking about. So we put together the style sheet, we got everybody drawing the same way. Even then, people varied in their styles.
Specifically on only one style that we wanted to replicate.
Vampire
model to not only replicate a specific style.
I was saying Castlevania, the Castlevania anime, that's what it looked like to me. But I mean, that Castlevania anime took inspiration from a classic vampire anime like Vampire Hunter D. So, you know, either or, it doesn't really matter.
But also specifically know a character, me. I traded on images of me wearing the same clothes on the same.
Well, that's a good way of doing it.
For my test sequence, and suddenly, boom.
Definitely getting that anime really interesting stylistic look to it. There's still a rotoscope feel to it that I think is going to be hard to lose, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Now, it was time to make that anime that I've always wanted to make.
Wow, I've really reached reaction inception. I never thought that I would be doing a video like this. At least not yet. I guess I'm reacting to someone reacting to a video. I've officially hit reaction inception.
Because as you've seen on the channel, we have our anime videos, anime fidget spinners, anime self-driving cars, anime baseball, but they're all filmed for real because we don't run an animation studio, and it's very...
Hey, I used to work there. I used to work right in that studio.
Nice.
Anime.
This guy's a veteran.
Rock, paper, scissors. What is the ultimate rock, paper, scissors game? Two twin princes, born at the same time, equal claim to the throne. It must...
That's a funny idea. Over the top, melodramatic rock, paper, scissors.
Right, of course.
So after
typical
we
anime
did
vibes.
Designed the costumes for each character. Basically, just went on Etsy and bought some goofy clothes.
Well, look at this high-level costuming here.
This still isn't too far off of what we've done at Disney as 2D hand-drawn animation or animators. A lot of our films will shoot live-action reference for Pocahontas. So much of Pocahontas, actually, the entire movie was shot in live action. That we used as reference. We didn't necessarily rotoscope it, but the directors wanted a lot of control, and so they basically shot the whole movie, and the key frames, or every frame actually, were printed out, and we as animators would pull out the key frames, and we would use those as reference for the animation. Now we had the option to push and pull and get rid of excess movement and things like that, so it would feel more like hand-drawn from your head 2D animation rather than straight rotoscoping, and that's where the difference comes in.
There's a specific way we
there's a key difference. There's another key difference as well. Just like later on, they're gonna get into, well, in the making of video for the Corridor Cruise video, they had to tussle with the AI because the AI was rendering different drawings each frame. So you had to get like a sequencer to stop that, you know, or something, whatever they call it, a D something or some D sequencer or something like that. Whereas the challenge, or rather lack thereof, depending on how good the artist is, you would just have to take what the live action was and just draw it, essentially. Just essentially draw it into the computer or whatever. So, yeah, so I guess... I don't know what would be easier because I don't do either one of them, so I don't know what would be easier. Y'all could tell me, any animators or people that work with AI, what would be easier, but you know, there is those key differences. I just wanted to point that out.
We're basically gathering assets, almost like we're gathering paper cutouts that we're going to then pose in our comic book. A lot of these shots are just us standing in a position, and we just need a single frame, because a lot of animation is just single frames of characters standing there against the background.
This is a great example of, even though this is a hugely melodramatic, over-the-top piece of animation that they're doing, one of the things that they say in here is so much of animation is just being held back in just a single frame or a single pose. That's absolutely true, even with the style that we do.
It would be a lot of work, and so a lot of cartoons don't do that. They just stick to a basic light tone, dark tone shading system at most, and oftentimes it's just a single paint color. At the end of the day, we get to take risks. We get to try things that might break it, because, boy, look at this giant...
You know, creating shadows, creating highlights, all that, that's a hugely expensive thing to do in hand-drawn 2D animation. It's doing a whole other hand-drawn pass for shadows, for highlights, for all of that, on top of your character animation.
It's a lot.
So it adds a lot of money to the budget.
At the end of the day, anime, it's just really all about tying your visual language to the story.
You know what would be interesting with this is how, if I went through and I animated a shot hand-drawn in a traditional way and digitized it, I wonder if it could generate shadows and highlights in the same way that they're doing it. You know, one of the things I always talk about, you know, me coming up as a 2D hand-drawn animator over the years, is that we try not to explain a lot of things. I try to show, I try to draw, I try to, you know, explain through visuals. And so this creating through prompts is really interesting and against my intuition.
All right, so Dean's giving me this whole image sequence now.
When you get into hand-drawn stuff, there's a little bit of flicker here. To me, it's not distracting. One of the things I love about animation, especially hand-drawn animation, is that it's imperfect. It's drawn by human hands, and so you have some flicker in there. The line is going to be inconsistent. as long as volumes and you know the basic shapes stay the same, you're in a good ballpark.
Pace.
The big six shape. He's bringing out the lingo. I don't even know what that means. I'm guessing it's what? Circle, square. My guess would be circle, square, triangle, oval, if that counts. Circle, square, triangle, oval, rectangle, and what else? Circle, square, triangle, oval, rectangle, and what? Shit, I don't know. Diamond, whatever, rhombus, rhombus. I don't know. If I got that right, y'all let me know.
And here they're adding the D.
Oh, D flicker. Yeah, there we go. A D flicker. That's what it was called, to stabilize the image so it won't keep cycling through so many different animations.
Flicker. Even though they're adding the D flicker, there's still little inconsistencies, but I think it adds life to the final.
Yeah,
image.
add some character to it. Yeah.
24 frames per second to 12 to look a little bit more like animation and remove even more of that flickering feeling.
Now they're eliminating frames from 24 frames to 12 frames, which gives it a little bit more of an animation look. But there is still, in my mind, there's still a rotoscoped feel to it, which I want to clarify is not necessarily a bad thing here. I think stylistically they've got something going that's really cool.
I've done a little tweaking, redone some of the lighting, little modifications.
He got his screen slanted back, so you know he be on there drawing it up. He be in there whipping it up, because when you have a canvas, it's gonna be slanted so you could lean on it and actually draw on it. Okay, this guy's a real deal, man.
Here and there to make it.
You know, the other thing too is I can just hear so many animators out there, traditional animators, screaming that about their jobs, and this is just the fear of this. Well, what we're seeing here, in my mind, what we're seeing is no different than what we've seen in Avatar, especially Avatar. I'm just going to focus on Avatar. Avatar is the same thing, and it's a much more high end, and
there is absolutely nothing going on.
Nope, because it's probably what you call it, probably copyright. It's to show How I Met Your Father. So wait, is this like a continuation of How I Met Your Mother, or a spinoff? I don't know.
The end result's a little bit different, but the general process, the thinking is still the same. It's going through a filter, right, and coming out the other end with a different world. And anybody with any kind of technical prowess can create a world on their own. You don't necessarily have to draw now.
Here, expressive oil painting, dark, beautiful Gothic cathedral in.
And just going back, that was one of the things that, when CG animation first started kind of making its mark in narrative filmmaking, like Toy Story. It was a hard thing for me to wrap my head around the idea of being able to do animation without having to draw, and it took years for me to wrap my head around that. Now I'm on the other side, getting kind of excited about stuff like this.
All either painted backgrounds or cell animated characters. Here you can see I have the backgrounds that Sam made, and I actually just went into Photoshop and blended them together, so you can see the edges kind of smoothed out.
Well.
I took those backgrounds and I just literally animated them scrolling past. We also turned them into kind of animated candelabras. So you can see here as the
even though there's a huge amount of complexity to this whole process, it's really no different than the same thinking and processes that we go through on a 2D level. It's a lot of the same ideas. It's just the means of creating them are different. It's hitting the stylistic visuals. It's hitting the effects animation, the environments, the way everything's laid out. It's all the same.
And so, since we've learned and are utilizing an open source program with a lot of contributions from people, I want to give back and I want to contribute our knowledge and put it out there so that you
very
can go
cool
and make animations and people can
this
experiment
is really detailed. Like, I'm just like in awe watching this, because this is not like anywhere near my field of expertise, but it's still interesting to look at this and learn how one, you work with AI, and then how a professional like hand drawn animator would react to it. And it seems to be a lot of similarities in between how both of these processes are done, because he knows a lot of the lingo that they're talking about, a lot of things that they've been doing thus far. He said, yeah, that's what we do that too. So this is cool. This is cool to see how he's interpreting what's going on here with this AI stuff.
Process, helping all of us get better.
That's great. I love that idea. Sharing the knowledge. That's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, back in the early 70s, I'm talking 50 years ago, Batchy did Fire and Ice with Frank Frazetta, all shot in live action and basically put through a filter and rotoscoped. James Gurney actually did a lot of the backgrounds in that film. But it's not much different than this. It's shot live action. They put it through the hand-drawn filter of people drawing over it to create the look that they wanted. And then the end result was Fire and Ice. But it's very similar to what they're doing here. This is just a much more high-tech way of doing it. Well, I'm really excited to get a look at it. So why don't we go ahead and jump ahead? I want to see what they've got.
Skip to the final product. Yeah. This will be my second time watching this. Let's get it. See if I notice anything different from last time. Yeah. It's so over the top for no reason, you know.
Father always said that you were the more artistic one.
Have you forgotten you're my twin brother? The Creator dealt us the same hand.
This is cool. It's got such a great look. I still get that feel that I remember watching Waking Life with Keanu Reeves.
I'll have you exiled.
Let us not forget.
You know that shadow flicker that you see in the characters? There's a fair amount of it, but I don't find it distracting. Once again, it feels like it helps give it a hand-drawn feel.
This holy house in front of our Father and the Creator themselves.
For the crown, the throne.
See, one of the things that 2D does, or actually one of the things that live action does, is you get all these little micro movements that even putting it on 2s, it's hard to get rid of. And it's those little micro movements that give it a live action feel.
Have you gone insane, brother?
Yeah, and you know what? I never even thought about it like that. Like, I thought, you know, when you're doing these things, everything has to be precise, you know, to the frame, you know, to the drawing, you know, to everything. But not really. You kind of want those imperfections so it actually looks more realistic, because life itself isn't perfect, you know, has imperfections. So, and they say art imitates life. This is art right here. So, you know, there's going to be some imperfections to it, especially when you're doing anything that has to do with human beings controlling things. There's going to be some natural human error inside of it. So that's cool to see. It just never occurred to me that was, you know, that was something that was okay in the industry.
We're brothers.
They did a great job at doing the anime melodrama.
Weak sunlight, rays of thought are unable to pierce. We are the same.
It will be trivial to defeat you thanks to my ancient technique.
Oh, I don't know what happened to that fist.
Yeah, that fist kind of.
You'll know, but it terrifies me. If he's in my mind,
I like playing the inner monologue.
Is it anime without the inner monologue? I don't think so.
Tell the guys here at the studio that we all have to talk this way from now on. I love it.
A draw.
I'm curious to see how they got some of the effects animation that they did in there.
No matter, the strategy holds.
All I can think of is how much fun this must have been to shoot.
by ruling my mind.
This strains my will to its very limit.
I'm really curious to know if they storyboarded or how far they storyboarded this process.
I don't think they
the
did.
story itself.
Father would be proud. Neither prince wavering in their resolve.
I love the overacting.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Studio Ghibli, you're not going to copyright claim me. Hell no. Nope. But they putting it in theaters, basically. They're putting some in the movie. Yeah, they're putting the movies in theaters from March 25th to the 29th. Well, today being the last day. It's the 29th right now as we speak.
Brother! Each challenge me to rock, paper, crossblades. And for the wager, our lives!
Father! It's so obvious, I feel like
those poor fingers.
Seeing it earlier. We're twins, bound to the same ruts of the roadway of the cosmos.
Jeez.
He will only throw stones.
I love the art direction in this. It's great.
It's so over the top. I love it.
For the entire kingdom.
I wonder, I'm curious to see how this would work with much more simple design. There's a lot of complexity in here that works with this style.
Shoot!
Turn up the dramatic anime music. Here we go.
See how those little micro movements with the hand? That's, you know, if it was hand drawn, like what we would have done at Disney, it would have been more locked into place. There might be a little drift, but that's where you get the difference between something looking rotoscoped and looking hand drawn. Or from the mind, keyframed. I want to say congratulations and kudos to the Corridor crew. You know, here's a group of guys that are truly artists. I can see they want to create, they want to put some really cool stuff out there, and they saw a challenge and they undertook it and ran with it. I love the idea. Once again, they're taking that idea of new technology, embracing it, not seeing it as a threat, and rolling with it to see what they can do. These guys are artists. These guys created something that was really cool, and it's that thinking and that embracing of those ideas that gets me excited as well. So I want to say congratulations to you guys. You did a great job, and you made me excited about this technology. Okay, so in conclusion, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is AI training on other artists' work without their permission. That's been the big uproar, and I absolutely agree with that. There's no way that someone's art should be used to train AI to create something else, basically riding on the back of their sweat.
Right.
Now, if you can create a style for a film, and you can train that AI in that style, then what's to keep you from doing that? That, I think, is really interesting. I don't want to pull from other people, but I would love to train that AI in an art direction that I'm creating for a film that I might be doing. Because that could help me do shadows. It could help me do different aspects in lighting. I don't think it's ever going to replace the animation, which is the next thing I want to talk about. I think it's a misnomer that they're calling this AI animation. It's really not, because they're not really animating anything. They're shooting in live action, and they're basically creating a filter over that live action and creating the animated look in that way. It's visual effects. If you look at Avatar, it's basically the same thing. And if you go way back to the beginning, you can go back to Snow White and even earlier. They were shooting live action back then, drawing over the top of it and creating a look there. This is just a big fancy version of that. So there's no one's animation. The CG, the computer, did not create the animation. It created a look. It created a filter. And we've been doing that with visual effects for 80 years.
Yeah.
So to call it AI animation, I think is not quite right. Now, do I think AI will be able to do animation down the road? You know what? I didn't think we'd ever...
They filmed the animations live action, and then they took a filter, which in this case was Vampire Hunter D, slapped it on there, used the assets. They did use assets from like Unreal Engine. That the whole castle, inside of the castle was an asset from Unreal Engine. I know that from watching the making of video. And then they just put it all together. Use the deflicker to slow and have the frame rate so you don't have that much like stuttering and stuff, and switching between frames and stuff, and switching between animation types, and there you go. So he said it's not, he wouldn't consider it AI animation because you're actually recording the animations live, which is correct. So I wonder what would he call it though.
Be drawing on a computer screen if you asked me 40 years ago. So maybe, yes. How long? I don't know. I don't think this is right now it's going to take jobs away. I remember back in the 90s when CG animation came along, and the only animators back, before the 90s were hand-drawn animators, people that knew how to draw.
Yeah.
And when all of a sudden I saw in the 90s animators coming along that didn't know how to draw, but they're animating, I had a hard time with that. And I think it's the same thing now. I think people, anytime new technology comes along,
people
they
get
see
scared.
It as a threat.
Yeah.
And they, you know, you get kind of territorial about what you're doing, and you think it's going to be taken away. But rather than do that, because you're not going to stop technology, try to embrace it. What can it do to help you? How can you learn from it? I fought so long to draw. You know, I didn't want to draw digitally. I mean, just back in 2005 was the first time I ever drew on a computer screen. People had been doing it for years and years at Disney, but I just fought it. I was scared of it. And it wasn't until I embraced it, started doing it, that I found the love of it. And I think this is going to be the same kind of thing. I think it's going to provide opportunity for filmmakers that don't necessarily know how to draw to create something and have a look that is going to be, it can have an animated look. I don't think it's going to replace animators. Because I think in the same way that...
Because the thing with the AI, like I said earlier, like it needs something to reference off of. So it's never going to take over, you know, the human mind and hand and stuff like that. It's never gonna take over. Only way it would happen is if it gains, I think I used the word sentience last time, but somebody in the comments corrected me and said it's sapience or whatever. Until like AI gains those things, and it can move like of itself, like autonomously, like it's just not gonna happen. We have to program it. Like we'd have to sign our own death warrants to do that, you know, because after once the machines take over, they're probably gonna render us obsolete, just like how it works in those movies. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Let's stay on topic here.
Cameras didn't replace painters. There's always going to be a place for people doing this craft, this art, and doing it in a style that they want. I think it's just going to broaden, if anything, the style. So once again, just going back, I think the negative of any of this is training this AI without anyone's permission on art that's out in the world, you know. But like I said, if you can take that and create your own look and train that AI on that look, you know, I'm animating a shot right here from my film Snow Bear. I would love for AI to be able to add the shadows so I don't have to do that. And I'll guarantee you, back in the day when we were at Disney doing everything hand-drawn, anything we could find to help speed up the process and make it easier,
that's what they would use, yeah.
You know, that's how CG animation came in and meshed with hand-drawn. You know, Belle and Beast dancing in the ballroom. In Brother Bear, you know, I have Kenai sliding down the log flume, all done in CG. That was cheating, right? I mean, that's the same complaint that people have now. So I think you'd have to take that technology, embrace it, and see how it can help you. You know, to be honest with you, the biggest threat to our industry is not the AI. I mean, when you look at anytime technology's ever come along in the entertainment industry, the animation industry, the expressiveness, the ability to create new films and new ideas has exploded. And as an end result, has created actually more jobs, and budgets have actually gone up. If you look at the budgets now compared to what they were back in the 90s, they're doubled. The biggest...
This guy knows what he's talking about. Hold on. I'm going to wait till you finish to do my final rant.
Threat, I think, is an age-old threat. It's bad stories and bad management.
Right.
That's what's going to get rid of jobs. If you're putting out consistently bad movies under bad management, then those jobs are going to go away because no one's going to go see them.
No one's going to go see the movie.
So the idea is it doesn't matter what technology you're putting on it. Make sure that story underneath all of that technology is good. Make sure it's engaging. Make sure it's something that people want to go to and laugh and cry and be scared and be moved and learn something from. Those are the things that people are going to go and watch.
Right.
And if you can do that, then the technology will follow. The technology will create new jobs. I'll guarantee you. I've
definitely
seen it happen.
He's right.
I've been doing this for 35 years.
35 years.
I've gone through it.
Can't tell him he's wrong.
So at the end of the day, do I think it's a threat? No, I don't think it's a threat. I think it's exciting. I think it's really exciting. So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to sit here and continue drawing on my hand-drawn animated short, Snow Bear. And I want you to go out, embrace the technology, embrace the things that are new, see how you can express yourselves through them, put some beauty back into the world, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
I loved his take. Now, clearly, this guy knows his shit. Mr. Aaron Blaze. He knows his shit, obviously. Disney Animator for 30, he was an animator. He's been doing this for 35 years. He knows his shit. So my thing is, if he's not worried about AI taking over, he's not all scared like everybody else is online, why are y'all scared? I have an answer to that. People are afraid because they don't have the education. They haven't learned. They haven't sat here and listened to this man, like a man like this, speak on AI technology. It can't take over because you need, in the end of the day, it can't, this is my opinion on it, it can't take over because you need that human ingenuity behind it to program it to be able to do that. You know, and you need the reference points of what was done with human hands that came out of a human mind. You know, you need that. So I don't think it's a threat either. I don't think it's going to take jobs away either. Maybe you're not getting work, because he said it the nice way, but I'm going to say it the real way. Maybe you're not getting work. Well, no, he kind of did say it the real way, but I'm gonna just piggyback on that. Maybe you're not getting work because your art is not good. You know, if your art was good enough, if your stuff was good enough, people would buy it. Don't blame AI. AI is not even competition. It's here to help out. Now I get it. People can exploit that, and you know, people can and will exploit that. They will put something in AI, kick it out, use it for their own benefit, you know, but that's already going on in the industry. We already got people plagiarizing people's stuff in the art world and stuff like that. That's already there. That's already an obstacle that you have to climb. That's already an obstacle that's probably never going to get taken away because it's so prolific. There's so much of it going on. So that's not something you should be worried about as an artist. You should just be worried about improving your art. So I agree with this guy. It's not a threat. It's not a threat. It's actually something you should be excited about. You know, if you're an artist, you could use it to make your job easier. Like he said, all these big productions that y'all are inspired by, if they could cut corners in any way using CG or whatever they could find, they would use it. So I think the reaction to AI, I always felt that the reaction to AI that a lot of people have is a little bit exaggerated and, you know, misplaced. But now that I have a professional's word to back it up, my point, I feel even more confident in my point of what I believed anyway. So yeah, so this video is already half an hour. I don't know if any of you made it this far, but if you have, thank you. Make sure if you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Let them know, you know, let them know, like, yo, this guy Justice, he has them rants, man. He has them rants on deck. So let me know. So you already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out. One.